Okay, so this is actually an extra that we're going to be talking about this week. It will be marked as an extra. It's not actually a part of the curriculum, but it has become readily apparent to me that there are some people in the class that are not familiar with how a computer file system works, which is fine. I didn't expect it, but then again, I probably should have. Most of you are probably familiar with mobile devices like phones and tablets, and not so much computers anymore. And much of your interactions with a phone and a tablet, the file system stuff is handled in the background. You don't have to deal with it. So, that being said, we need to cover just a little bit about how computer file systems work. And because I'm not really prepared for this, I'm going to try to make it as concise as possible, but there may be some holes here and there. Just ask questions if you have more questions. I'm going to do my best to make the best explanation of this as possible. That being said, a file system is sort of like an array of cabinets that you would find in an office. Each cabinet can store folders, and each folder can store a certain number of documents. That is why you have something on a computer called a desktop. It is literally modeled after a desktop, where you can leave folders and files and documents, images, and what have you. Computers take it one step further, allowing you to store more comprehensive data. Obviously, most desks before, when computers were created, didn't really have the capacity to have moving pictures. But computers obviously allow you to store video files on them and put them in different places and what have you. Speaking specifically to Windows file structure, each user has their own folder. In this case, my folder is called Brad L. Now, I am going to have a lot more folders than you have, because I have a lot more stuff than you do. But conventionally speaking, your average Windows computer will have the following folders in your user folder, which is located under C, users, and then your username. These folders are contacts, desktop documents, downloads, favorites, links, music, pictures, saved games, and searches and videos. Some people will have OneDrive, some people won't. Depends on a variety of factors on how you set up your computer initially. Don't worry about that too much. Most of you that have Windows 10 will in fact have a OneDrive folder. It's not particularly useful. OneDrive is basically Microsoft's ripoff of Dropbox. Each folder can have subfolders, and each of those subfolders can have subfolders, and each of those folders, no matter what depth they're at, can store files. So if we open up my Dropbox folder, let's say, which is one of my custom folders, I have all kinds of stuff in here. I have a whole array of folders ranging from different project environments to general storage, to libraries that I've written for Java, to libraries that I've written for other languages, to libraries from other languages that I make use of, books in PDF format, and what have you. I have a lot of different folders. In the same vein, I also have a lot of different files. You can see that I have several cover letters. I have a couple of archives in here. I have a lot of PDF documents, several documents relating to different projects that I'm working on, like the bill of materials for my camera project that I'm doing at my church, a document about 3D scanning on an idea that I had, and a variety of other things. Your syllabus is in here. The grade book for this class is in here. There's code wrapped up in here. What have you. And each folder can do this. Now, in BlueJ, if we relate this back to BlueJ, BlueJ will actually allow you to save a project to a particular location. When you create a new project in BlueJ, you can click the Choose button, and a window very similar to the one that we've just been perusing around in will appear. And you can look for the folder where you want to put stuff. Now, for the most part, during class, I will be putting stuff on my desktop. I will create a folder in my Dropbox just because my Dropbox backs up all of my stuff that I'll be putting the projects from the class in. But for the most part, you guys will probably want to save your stuff to the desktop just because it will make it easier to access and you won't have to go digging for it later. Right now, BlueJ actually defaults to, when you first open BlueJ, to saving to this folder, which is your main user folder, which certainly isn't perfect, but you can do it. It's not necessarily wrong to do it, but it will get cluttered fast. The whole idea behind folders is to be able to organize your stuff, to have the ability to dig deeper and actually organize things the way you want them to be organized. The people that were having problems with files and folders, does that make a little bit more sense?
Yeah.
Hunter DeSalle? Okay.
No, I understand.
So, the people that were confused on it may have to come back and watch this video again, but it just sort of breaks down very quickly how this all works here and what specifically goes on when you're dealing with the file system. That being said, if you have more questions about the file system, I can try to explain this a little bit better, either one-on-one or 2 or 3 people at a time if you prefer. I was just sort of taken aback by the fact that I actually had to explain this, but it doesn't surprise me now that I think about it. So, that being said, I think this video is done. We are completely done for the day now. See you all next week.